Hello, Tom Maguire. So I'm just going to do a review on I May Be Wrong and Other Wisdoms from Life as a Forest Monk by Bjorn Natthiko Lindeblad. Very good book. Actually, one of the standout books that I've listened to over the last sort of 3 or 4 months, I would say. I went through a bit of a patch where my kind of listening and reading went a little bit slow because I was kind of making a few bad choices, really. I've been listening to quite a lot of podcasts this year, to be fair, and that's kind of been taking away from some of my listening time. So I haven't got quite so many books this year. Still done about 50, 60, I think, but it's not up to the sort of usual numbers. So yeah, I went for a bit of a patch last few months of just being a bit unimpressed with some of the books that I listened to. But this one, I May Be Wrong, definitely kind of picked me up and made me sort of realise, yes, when you do find a good book, it's really, really good. And if all the books were as good as this that I listened to, I'd be doing 100 a year, no problem. He's called Bjorn Natthiko Lindeblad. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. I probably haven't, but there we go. And it's I May Be Wrong and Other Wisdoms from Life as a Forest Monk. He basically shares his advice on how to live life, and it's not one of those preachy type books where he's telling you exactly what you need to do. It's actually quite refreshing and nice. So he went away, he had a kind of traditionally successful career. I think he was either an accountant or in IT or something like that. It sounded fairly generic what it was that he did. But he was earning quite good money. His parents were quite proud of him and all that sort of stuff. I suppose he was successful in that usual boring sort of way that we kind of tend to judge success in the West. And he decided to leave all that and go and become a forest monk in Thailand. I didn't know anything about forest monks particularly before reading this book, but it sounds very interesting. And he just kind of tells his story of being one of those people for years and years and meditating, how he struggled with meditation, he couldn't keep awake, and all the things he had to deny himself, and how that kind of gave him a real sense of sort of bonding with the other people there, and just a unique way of life where everything just kind of slowed down, and the stress of the everyday kind of rushing that we do, that I do, that lots of people do, all the things we try and keep in our head all the time, all the distractions, mobile phones, TV, all that sort of stuff, were just gone, and how his quality of life just really, really improved. And he did it for a number of years. I think it was about 16 years in total in the end. Yeah, I read a review saying that although he went away to do all this, he still seemed like the sort of person who was craving attention from other people. And I kind of thought, I sort of hear what you're saying there. I suppose anyone who kind of writes a book about their life to that degree is kind of going to be a little bit like that. But for me, that's just kind of part of being human. And he wasn't saying that he was a super monk or anything. He was kind of giving his account of how it was for him. And he was quite open about the fact that he struggled with certain things. And actually, being human is what makes people interesting. So I don't mind that at all. He talks about how his parents always supported him in what he did, which was obviously a real key aspect of his kind of overall success and happiness in life. So he says that although they didn't understand why he wanted to leave such a well-paid career and successful career to go and do this, he still had their backing, and that meant an awful lot to him, which obviously makes sense. He finishes it where he's kind of saying goodbye to his dad as well. His dad sort of chose to end his own life due to illness, terminal illness in Switzerland, and so that bit's really emotional and really deep. And I got quite a lot out of listening to that bit as well. But it's just overall, it's a really nice book. There's nothing kind of massively new or complex or anything like that, but it does make you think. It makes you think about the bigger things and kind of forget about the smaller things, and puts you in quite a good frame of mind and gives you a good sense of perspective, I think. So I think it's a really good book for just kind of getting you to question things, and just this idea of saying I may be wrong. I like to think I always do that. That's something I kind of pride myself on in work or wherever. I like to think I'm quite good at that, but I think we can always do better, to be fair. So thank you very much. I'll be back soon. Cheers for now.